Hey, welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my addiction and confess to some of the reasons leading to it. No, it's not a drug addiction, it's a gear addiction. And it leads to some erratic behavior. And I'm going to discuss, at least in my particular case, what the culprit is and some of the things that are the main causes. Now, again, I am not an accomplished musician, as anybody that's watched this channel over the last several years knows, right? I'm a hobbyist. I'm a novice. I'm somebody that enjoys playing guitar. I don't have any formal training. Um, I don't have the attention span, quite frankly, for formal training, theory, etc. But I like picking up a guitar and playing it. It is a great way to escape life. It's a great way to keep your mind focused and busy, which is a good thing. So, in any event, my buying habits and my addiction. Let's get back to that. So, I typically, and this is something that I highly recommend you try to avoid if you can, buy impulsively, right? Price dictates my purchasing, which is absolutely, in my opinion, the wrong reason to buy a guitar. It's a good reason to buy a guitar if that is your only choice. If you're in a financial situation where you can only afford X amount of dollars, and rather than not have that item, you buy something at a certain low price point to fill your need, that is a completely different story. But in my particular case, by no means am I wealthy or independently wealthy. But fortunately, I'm not, on Skid Row either, where I can afford to buy a guitar when I decide it's the right instrument. Now, in spite of that, I still purchase guitars based on price alone, which is absolutely insane, right? I try to recently only post things that I think honestly are good deals, decent quality instruments at a very reasonable price. However, I've been guilty of doing the opposite. So, what drives this? And what is the end result when you do this? So, what drives this is just the thrill of the hunt, as I call it. It's like somebody, purchasing a car, a certain model car at a crazy price just because they got a great deal, right? Or any commodity item for that matter. Um, a guitar is not necessarily a commodity item. It depends upon which guitars you're purchasing. Maybe the ones that I look at are commodity items technically, but in any event, by doing so, by buying solely on a good deal or price alone, leads to failure. And that's one of the main reasons why I've had so many guitars in such a short period of time. Because I see something that I think is a deal that is too good to turn down, I purchase it, and then a short time later, I realize that outside of that great price, there's nothing else that really excites me about what I just did, the action I just took. So, what happens? I buy something at a fantastic price, and you can get several results from that. You can find out, number one, it's an online item. You've had no personal experience with that item, but and in this case, the item is a guitar. But that particular guitar is at a price that appears to you to be absolutely ridiculous. So you purchase it. And then you find out that it sounds horrible. The setup on the guitar is just horribly set up. And it's not just a setup issue. It's the fact that the bridge is very cheap. The nut is very high. It's just a poorly manufactured instrument. And that's probably because the price point you bought it at in the first place, right? So that's like a duh moment, right? Where, what did you expect? But yet I still fall into the trap of doing that repeatedly, right? Or have done that repeatedly. I'm trying to correct my erroneous ways. As I mentioned in the video is that I'm down to 7 guitars at this point. The other thing is, so that's a quality issue, right? And also the fact that you've had no personal experience with that item other than looking at a great price on the internet. And then what happens inevitably as well is I'll wind up with 5 of the same model guitars after a certain period of time. 5 Les Paul style guitars, 5 Strat style guitars, 5 Telecaster style guitars, 5 semi-hollow ES335 style guitars. And inevitably, again, there'll only be one of those that I really go to play. The others are, for whatever reason, I don't like the way the neck feels, again. I don't like the sound of the pickups. I don't like the fact that it doesn't stay in tune because the tuners are horrible. I don't like the fact that I don't like the color because it's a duplicate color. It could be a number of reasons why I don't go to that particular instrument. Yet I have them and I bought them solely based on price, which again is a very, very poor decision if that is the sole criteria of you purchasing something. Again, I've fallen for this and I continue to do it, although I'm trying to correct this addiction very, very often. So what I would recommend at the end of the day is just asking yourself 2 simple questions. Do I really need this guitar? Or is it just because it's a deal that I'm perceiving that I can't refuse at a price that is so low I can't refuse to purchase it? The second thing is, does it fill a niche? Am I missing this style guitar at this phenomenal price? I've always wanted a Telecaster, but I couldn't afford one. Now I've got one that I could try out at a crazy low price, or a Stratocaster if that's the case, or again, an ES335 style semi-hollow, offset, whatever it might be. That model is missing from your current collection, and you think you need it. You want it to fill this niche so you have a complete collection, or whatever the case is. But if it's solely just on the fact that you're getting a smack great deal, I would try to, as much as possible, keep that demon away. Hold it off. Succumb. But then again, there's always that tried and true adage, right? Just one more. Guys, have a great weekend. Until the next time, be well and stay safe. Take care.